from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Christine Stanwood. Well, fire investigators and police are trying to figure out the cause of an early morning fire at a Grand Forks business that recently had been vandalized. The call came in about 2 this morning from Juba Coffee House. No one was hurt, but damage to the building is estimated around $90,000. Grand Forks police have confirmed to Valley News Live that the business was recently vandalized with graffiti, but investigators are not sure yet if the incident is related to the fire. The business is owned by a Somali man, and the graffiti was of a Nazi symbol with the words "Go home" underneath. So far, investigators have not ruled the fire suspicious, but Valley News team's Neil Carlson is following this developing story. Watch for updates and reaction tonight on Valley News Live. Fargo firefighters are trying to determine the cause of a small fire in a Southside home. It happened around 10 last night in the 1600 block of 5th Avenue South. A 911 caller indicated someone in the house was refusing to evacuate. Fire crews quickly put out the small fire in a pile of clothing, then searched the home but did not find anyone inside. In New For You at noon, the Moorhead Police Department is investigating vandalism at a church in South Moorhead. A stained glass window was smashed out at Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd. Senior pastor Dan Dornfeld tells Valley News Live that whoever did it smashed several jars of pickles inside and outside of the church. The church isn't near an area with other reported vandalism. It's located at the far south end of town, surrounded by a field, a farmstead, and a residential neighborhood. Dornfeld says luckily no one was hurt, and the church has insurance to cover the damage. He adds that they pray for those responsible. The Dilworth Police Department just announced they are getting body cameras. Police Chief Ty Sharp says every officer will wear a body camera while on duty. He says this will help with transparency of the department and keeping his officers safe. The chief said it will also make the department become more efficient with video evidence collection and storage. The department is getting the cameras this month, and officers will start using them January 2016. And it's another above average December afternoon that could create some problems since we are expecting a little rain today. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green. Lisa, what can we expect today?
Well, we've got some clouds that are hanging around for us and some places that may be getting a little bit of light rain. In fact, the Aberdeen area reporting some light rain there with those showers rolling through. And you can see that showing up here on our satellite picture and radar picture. The rain showers basically sticking to the I-94 and corridor and south from there. Zooming in just a little bit, maybe getting some rain showers around the Oaks area, stretching back over toward Lidgerwood. And up toward Jamestown as well, maybe a couple of sprinkles falling for that area. Now we're looking at conditions that are going to be on the cloudy side today with, again, those light rain showers. But the good news here is that we've got temperatures that are in the above freezing category. So that's the good news. We're at 36 degrees in Fargo and 35 in Grand Forks. So anywhere we're getting these sprinkles, we should be okay as far as no freezing rain is concerned. It's 40 right now in Jamestown already and 40 in Devil's Lake. And for the rest of the afternoon in Fargo Moorhead, expect to see those temperatures rising into the upper 30s to near 40. And we have more mild air on the way. In addition to that, some snow too. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
Thanks so much, Lisa. Well, the FBI says that both suspected shooters in the San Bernardino shootings had taken target practice at area gun ranges leading up to the attack, and now know that Farouk visited one of those ranges just days before the rampage.
Syed Rizwan Farouk visited the Riverside Magnum Range to practice firing his semi-automatic AR-15 rifle just 2 days before he and his wife Tashfeen Malik killed 14 people in San Bernardino.
He came in like a normal guy.
John Galetta is a firearms instructor at the gun range.
He was quiet, he was to himself, and he shot well.
So he'd had some training?
Apparently, yes.
Before he came here?
Apparently, yes.
At one point, Farouk's rifle started smoking as he fired it, and he approached employee Mike McGee.
What does that tell you about his experience with guns?
Well, the experience with the rifle tells me that it was a new rifle. He was not familiar with it.
The company has turned over surveillance video and sign-in logs to the FBI. Federal investigators say the assault rifles used in the attack were purchased by Enrique Marquez, who lived next door to Farouk during his high school years. Sources tell CBS News that FBI agents questioned Marquez on Monday. He has not been arrested and is now providing them with information. Investigators have conducted more than 400 interviews so far, but they're still trying to determine a motive.
We have learned and believe that both subjects were radicalized and have been for quite some time. Now, how did that happen? The question we're trying to get at is how did that happen, and by whom, and where did that happen?
Federal authorities also continue to search the couple's digital trail. They're looking for any evidence of contact with known extremists or any outside financial support.
We want to find out everyone who profited from it, finance it, and I'm not saying there is anything like that, but we will leave no stone unturned.
CBS News learned yesterday that Farouk's co-workers at the county health department had active shooter training at an Inland Regional Center 1 year ago in the same conference room where the attack occurred. It's not clear yet whether Farouk attended. Minnesota officials are trying to determine if a popular teen game played a part in the deaths of two Lakeville teenagers. 18-year-old Johnny Price and 17-year-old Jake Flynn died when their vehicle rolled Friday afternoon. Two other teens were hurt in the crash. The game in question is called Nerf Wars. Teenagers shoot at each other with toy guns, trying to eliminate players. The last person or last team standing wins. In some cases, there are cash prizes. The game is played outside of school hours at many Minnesota schools, but so far investigators aren't sure if it played a role in last week's deadly crash. Some Fargo City commissioners are giving a strong pushback to the idea of allowing alcohol at West Acres Cinema. Commissioners Dave Pepcorn and Melissa Sobolik say they have heard from dozens of people around town who say booze and the big screen are not a good mix. Questions of security are being raised, but those who have been to a theater already serving alcohol say it's not an issue, and if it becomes one, the theater will suffer. The biggest concern seems to be mixing alcohol in a place where families come with their kids, but Fargo commissioners did vote to receive and file the bill last night. The first public hearing on the issue is expected in 2 weeks. And in the dash to find your holiday shopping, the thought of writing down the serial numbers on the things you buy might be the last thing on your mind. But police say it should be the first thing you do. If any of your items end up stolen and end up in a pawn shop, it'll make it that much easier to track them down.
We have a liaison in the police department that works closely with the pawn shops, and his position in our detectives bureau is to try to match up found or stolen property reports with what might come through a pawn shop.
Pawn shops in the Red River Valley tell us they work closely with law enforcement to ensure all the property they bring through their doors isn't stolen. If you're not yet ready in the holiday spirit, we know a place to go to get there. The Plains Art Museum is hosting a holiday concert series at noon every Monday through Thursday, and people there will be spreading holiday cheer for the next 2 weeks. So the concerts are free and open to the public. And children with severe feeding problems is more about being picky. Later at noon, a new feeding program that targets the root of an issue that can affect children on the autism spectrum. But next, weather to plan your day.